rise above such speculation and listen for unofficial government position, so that we don't just speculate, we just don't read from papers. We need to get a clear position from government on what is happening, and the minister is going to present this pursuant to Rule 52(1) of the Rules of Procedure, and he will give us information as to whether the speculation is a reality. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members. Indeed, I can see the anxiety of members, and hopefully this statement will put to rest that anxiety. Right Honorable Speaker and members, at the 14th sitting of the third meeting of the third session of the 11th Parliament, held on Wednesday, 28th February 2024, the Honorable Mbwateka Mwagafa, Member of Parliament of Igara West, Bushenyi District, raised a matter regarding a letter reportedly from the Minister of Internal Affairs that appeared in social media calling for a consultative meeting on the relocation of Luzira prison to create space for an investment opportunity to an external investor. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I want to respond as follows. Right Honorable Speaker and members, Luzira prison group of prisons is the first prison set up in Uganda by the colonial government in the 1920s. By then, the population of Uganda was very low, estimated at 3,071,608 persons. This is according to the Colonial Annual Report number 1112 of December 1920. At that time, Luzira area was peri-urban with almost no developed infrastructure. The prison's infrastructure was the most developed, and the prisons suited to be in that location. The principal consideration at the time was security, as Luzira could only be accessed from one point. Right Honorable Speaker and members, over time, the prison's infrastructure became dilapidated, while the neighborhood continued to improve and modernize. A modern secondary school and hospital, Bishop Cyprian Chanjire, was set up on 20 acres of the prison land. Another 64 acres that was used by the prisons for crop and livestock farming became an industrial park, with industries such as Quality Chemicals Limited, Police Sac Limited, U-Fresh, Nightply, and Masterwood, among others. High-rise private property have also sprung up in the immediate neighborhood of the prison. Types of prisons in Luzira. Right Honorable Speaker and members, prisons are classified according to the purpose they serve, either as reception centers, receive and hold suspects awaiting trial, or rehabilitation centers, those that receive convicts from the reception centers for rehabilitation and reform. Prisons are also categorized by the type of offenders they hold and the level of security required: maximum security, high security, medium and low security, and open prisons. Luzira group of prisons was established to absorb all these categories of prisons as indicated in the table that follows. And the table includes: 1, we have Uganda Prisons Upper. It's in the category of maximum security prison, and it's both a reception and rehabilitation center. 2, Uganda Prison Murchison Bay. It's high security prison, both reception and rehabilitation center. 3, Kampala Remand Prison, low security prison used as a reception center. And 4, Luzira Women Prison, a maximum security prison for female prisoners, used both as a reception and rehabilitation center.
General, I hope you're not going away. Okay, thank you.
Other facilities at Luzira We have a prisons academy and training school, Murchison Bay Farm, Murchison Bay Hospital, regional headquarters, Murchison Bay Primary School, staff housing, staff hospital and clinic, 2 churches and 1 mosque, parade grounds, and a football pitch. Current prisoners and staff population at Luzira, prisoners population, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, as at 25th March, this report has been there since that time. Luzira prisons had a total of 8,790 prisoners, including 5,167 remands, 3,457 convicts, 107 condemned prisoners, and 59 civil debtors, as indicated in the table below. Upper had 105 condemns, 1,368 convicts, 1,746 remands, and the total 3,219. Murchison Bay had 1,398 convicts, 1,617 remands, 7 debtors, 3,022 total. Kampala R had 318 convicts, 1,490 remands, 40 debtors, 1,848 total. And Luzira women had 2 condemns, 347 convicts, 314 remands, 12 debtors, total 701. The totals are down in the last column. Staff population as at 2024 was 2,653 in Luzira barracks. The current state of the infrastructure at Luzira. Congestion. Luzira group of prisons was built in the 20s with a total prisoners holding capacity of 1,923 prisoners. Today, Luzira is holding 8,790 prisoners, thereby having an excess of 6,867 prisoners above its capacity, up to 4 times beyond the designed capacity. The details are shown in the table that follows. The disparity between the holding capacity and the numbers that are there. In Upper, we have 756 population that is there now, 3,219. Excess is 2,463. The number of times above capacity, 4.3%. Murchison Bay, 646. Population there, 3,022. Excess, 2,376. A number of times above capacity, 4.7. Kampala remand, 289. Holding capacity. Population, 1,848. Excess, 1,559. Capacity above holding capacity 6.4. Luzira women 232 holding capacity, population now 701, excess 469. The exceeding capacity is 3.4. The totals are down. The safety and security of prisons, besides limited capacity, the design of the prisons at Luzira did not at the time envisage the level of security required to keep the categories of inmates that we hold now in Luzira. The buildings have not been renovated in recent times, and the state of dilapidation is extremely high. The buildings have outlived their lifetime. Reasons for the proposed relocation. Honorable Speaker and members, the land occupied by Luzira is approximately 260 acres. Strategically located in Luzira, Nakawa Division, Kampala's capital city authority, and a prime urban area along the shore of Lake Victoria with excellent scenery. It sits next to the railroad line connecting Kampala to Lake Victoria, which is Kampala's only inland harbor at Port Bell. The principal consideration at the time was security, as Luzira could only be accessed from one point. However, currently, with the mentioned developments and constraints of space and implied high security risks, this can no longer justify its continued existence in the present location. Prisoners can be kept anywhere in Uganda, provided they have access to the courts of law, hospitals, and prisons visits by relatives. The transport network in and around Kampala metropolitan area has improved, and customized security vehicles can easily be acquired to secure prisoners in transit to access justice and other services. Cheaper land, if available, can be identified. Modern infrastructure would then be constructed to accommodate most of the major activities currently being handled at Luzira. This would not only solve the congestion problem, but would also offer better human conditions, rehabilitation, and friendly facilities. If a more suitable and conducive, cost-effective alternative were to be acquired, Luzira Prison's land, which is very prime, would be released and secured for investment. Modern investment on the current prison land would lead to job creation for Ugandans, foreign exchange earnings, increased tax base, and would foster economic growth and development. This in line with the country's policy framework of a poverty reduction strategy that emphasizes investment promotion. Uganda Prison Service is likely to benefit from such development other than continuously holding on to this constrained space with all the attendant constraints mentioned. The current prison's infrastructure is highly dilapidated, and its continued use is insecure and a denial of the rights of prisoners to a decent living environment. Secondly, the design of the infrastructure can no longer handle the current type of prisoners that we hold. And thirdly, the design of infrastructure is not rehabilitation friendly and therefore can no longer support correction and modern penal policy. Therefore, it appeals to logic to plan for new infrastructure in a more suitable place and relieve Luzira for other viable economic investments. Even without the current